Quill Tree Books and Harper Audio present The Hill, Inside the Secret World of the U.S. Capitol by Kate Andersen Brower. Read by Patricia Santomasso. For Teddy. Introduction. A hidden city within a city. When you think of the United States Capitol, a vision of the majestic dome that overlooks the sprawling National Mall probably comes to mind. It might just be one of the most famous man-made landmarks in the country. But there is so much more to the Capitol than meets the eye. And while this book isn't trying to be a comprehensive history of change on the Hill, what I hope is that my accounts will inspire you to learn more, so that when you take a closer look, you will understand that the Senate and House are separate small towns, and that the Capitol is like a city itself. From the moment George Washington laid the cornerstone of the building on September 18, 1793, the Capitol became the most lasting symbol of the hopes, dreams, frustrations, and disappointments of the American people. It's a reflection of who we are. Our country is relatively young. President Joseph Biden's inauguration in January 2021 was only the 59th ever. And 2026 will mark the country's 250th anniversary. But it is the oldest democracy in the world, and the Capitol is the physical home of the legislative branch of our government, the branch that makes the laws that help this country function. What are the three branches of government? The legislative branch refers to Congress, the branch of government that makes laws. It is the first branch mentioned in Article 1 of the Constitution. The executive branch is made up of the President, Vice President, Cabinet, and most federal agencies that enact the laws passed by Congress. This branch is described in Article 2. The judicial branch refers to the Supreme Court and other courts. It is described in Article 3. The Constitution creates these divisions so that one branch will not have any more power than another. Behind the scenes. Inside the Capitol, there is a hidden universe. Today, 5 House office buildings and 3 Senate office buildings are the offices for 435 representatives and 100 senators. There are an astounding 10,000 staffers as well. The architect of the Capitol, AOC, is not an architect at all, but more like a superintendent or manager for the whole complex, which includes 3 Library of Congress buildings, the Botanic Garden, the Capitol Visitor Center, the Supreme Court, and the Capitol. It is essentially its own world. The Capitol even has its own police force of almost 2,000 officers, ranking it among the top 25 biggest police departments in the United States. There are 2 subway lines that make it possible to go from one end of the building to the other without ever setting foot outside. And it has its own power plant to keep the lights on, as well as the internet and any other electrical needs. The famous domed building, located on the eastern end of the National Mall, sits on top of a small hill 88 feet above the Potomac River. From the west front steps, there is a sweeping westward view across the reflecting pool to the Washington Monument, 1.4 miles away. The Lincoln Memorial, which is the most visited site on the mall, is 2.2 miles away. The Capitol building has a central ceremonial rotunda and 2 separate wings. On either side of the big white dome is the Senate and the House of Representatives, where lawmakers sent to Washington by voters across the country gather to debate national policy and create new laws. The Capitol complex is more than 1.5 million square feet and has more than 600 rooms. There are miles and miles of hallways, both above ground and underground. There was a long-time deli in the neighborhood called Roland's, where members of Congress used to grab lunch, and a convenience store nearby. Roland's closed in 2021, but it was a place where members would often run into each other since the 1960s. It was open late at night.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?